Hello, everyone. So there's not much about Black Hawk's history, like what his childhood was. He was born in Sussex. I'm gonna say that wrong. Sussex, Illinois, and was a member of the Sioux, which is the present-day Sac and Fox tribe. Black Hawk was part of the Thunder Clan. If you don't know what that is, you can also look it up. I'm not really sure what it is. I know something about it, but not a lot. Actually, in modern day time, the Black Hawk name has been spread throughout many legacies. Like the most famous one is the Illinois Blackhawks hockey team. If you watch hockey, you would know. Therefore, why? I'm gonna say this wrong, but it's Makshima Kia Katia. I don't think I said that right. Please don't criticize. As also Black Hawk was known for. So a treaty in 1804 that basically just says that the homeland of Black Hawk and its people were conceded to the United States, and it was given by Quishmia. Don't think I said that right either, and he was the chief of the tribe that Black Hawk was born into. Sussex, I want to say. Black Hawk and many others did not feel like it was the chief's place to sign that agreement. And so Black Hawk was pretty mad. Like him and a few others, well, not a few, a lot of others were very, very mad. Also part of the treaty of 1804, a lot of the residents moved to present-day Ohio. After most of the tribe went to present-day Ohio, they realized that basically Black Hawk was recognized to be the chief of the Sac and, I'm gonna say that wrong, Sac and Fox tribes, because there's more than one in that. And he just felt to become the leader of this. Nobody really knows why, but he was known for his great war campaign, even though he did not listen or acknowledge any of the treaties that a lot of his past chiefs signed. Basically, Black Hawk was pleading to these guys, can you please let my people and me go back north? Well, after some convincing happened,
here I come to save the day.
My mother's gonna kill me. After some pleading between the Black Hawk and whoever he was fighting with, doesn't really tell him who. He made a safe layout among the Ho-Chi people and the Ojibwe people. He definitely pleaded. He pleaded for our period. But literally hours. He was pleading please let my people and I go back north. We were from there. Blah blah blah. Basically, just telling them yo, my life's falling apart. My tribe's falling apart. I need your help. On August 2nd, Black Hawk, I guess, was trying to move north. And over an 8-hour period, his whole tribe was massacred out of no reason. No man, child, or woman survived this massacre, even though most of his tribe was made up of old, elderly women and children. No idea where all the men went. I think they were part of the warriors. He referred to the Ho-Chi people was a brief... So, he basically told them, yeah, my whole tribe was just killed. Just killed. And they're like, oh, frick, really? Okay. And they're like, well, we're not gonna help you still. We had peace, but now that you say that, there's a whole bunch of you and nobody else. So basically just surrendered to U.S. forces at this point because he didn't think the other Native American tribes were gonna help him at this point because they really weren't helping him at all. So, after surrendering to the United States, he was sent to Washington, D.C. to meet President Jackson And then before he was being returned to Fort Armstrong. Very interesting place to send him, might I add. So at this point, the president's like, okay, well, you owned this land, and they basically just kicked you out. We basically kicked you out, sorry. We didn't mean to do that, but you were kind of in our way of moving, going west. So, not gonna lie, my bad. I'll take the blame. And they basically routed him back to Illinois, to his home state right now. Well, it was a territory for him at this point, but now it's like a state because they basically just kicked him out. So they basically took him back to Illinois, and while he was going back to Illinois, he realized he saw all these big buildings. Well, not really big buildings, mostly cities, and he's like, well, what are these cities like? What does cities mean? He was very confused on what cities were and why there were so many people when his tribe was like little, and where he used to live was little, and there's all these houses now. Like, he's like, huh? Like, he's very confused. So they basically had to explain to him what cities were and how a city can help people and like you can get your stuff together. So basically, both of the Northern Alliance, quote unquote, thought he had alliance with them, basically was like, oh, well, you thought we were gonna help you? So basically just gave up on them while he was trying to move north. Well, actually after he was trying to move north. And that just gave him more reason to go back to Illinois after meeting with the president. So while I did some digging, I actually found the year he was born. I don't actually know the date, but it was the year 1767. So it's a little bit before. Well, actually, colonies were already set in by this point, so he really didn't have a say in the colonies. But he was quickly figured out that there was a big enemy. And the biggest enemy was, well, no, that was by 1800, so he's a little older now, so he kind of understood the colonies. Well, actually understood his tribe better. But by the 1800s, he's just figured out that we have a huge threat, and we're not saying anything about it. Like, none of his leaders were talking about this threat that, like, you heard whispers about in, like, a classroom. Like, it's like a rumor, basically. Like, he's like, okay, let's get our stuff together, and let's figure out, like, he was trying to put the dots together on what this whole problem was. And it took him a minute. He's like, wait, the problem is the new people coming over. He's like, well, these white people, that's what he called them, quote unquote, what supposedly he called them. He's like, my people, well, this is when he was like chief, my biggest threat to my people is the newbies coming over from England or the other side of the country who were looking for new land, who thought they were going to like Asia, but they're not in Asia. They're on my homeland. And people weren't happy. Well, can't say people weren't. The Native Americans were not happy with these newcomers on their land. And I mean, Black Hawk was not happy about the whole, like, get the frick off your land. We taking it now. It's ours. And nobody's backing him up. He's like, okay, well, something's messed up here, and it ain't sure as heck ain't me this time, even though I don't know who my father and my mother were. I think he did, but they just, no one ever, like, no historians could, like, be positive that, oh, that's his mother, or, oh, that's his father. And I forgot to mention that every time, like, an American fort was, like, put on the other side of the Mississippi River, and, like, he knew about it, he would get very, very mad, because he would, quote, say, I owned that, my tribe owns that, and they probably did with the older group. But now that he was running it, he, like, always said, like, oh, yeah, I own this, I own that. You see all that black stuff? Oh, So basically, that was like the story of Black Hawk, except he spent his later years, well, the next 15 years that he had of his life, in Illinois while he watched the construction go on and the cities move west. I'm gonna throw a lip on. But tell me if you guys like this series. I know I was like all over the place because my research, I literally just had a paper, well, a few of them, with like different things going on in them. So like, but he was also very known for like having his stuff together. Like as a chief, like he knew when to move his tribe, he knew when to do this for his tribe. So he basically had his whole life as a tribe leader, and a lot of his people liked his campaign, and he supposedly tried moving north to like Canada, present day Canada, and obviously people were like, no, like you are not doing that to me. And like the people who owned it, let me brush my hair first. So basically the people who owned up north where he supposedly wanted to buy land, they were like, no. They're like, we're not letting you buy some land from us. Even if we did, you probably would not want it. So he got turned down for buying the land. And that's basically the whole story of Black Hawk, the Indian, and his tribe. I'm pretty sure if you look at the tribe, you'll find more on the tribe than you do Black Hawk. But if you find something on Black Hawk, and tell me if you like this series or not, because I want to like start it. It's gonna be historical people, and I might do cryptids. Tell me if you want cryptids or not, because I will really look into some cryptids like Wendigos and skinwalkers, banshees, everything and anything of supernatural creatures. So just tell me if you want that, but this is gonna be like a whole different segment. Thank you guys for watching. This makeup video, makeup thingy face was inspired by Black Hawk because black is in his name. Black Hawk was actually a very truthful Indian. He did not lying to people, and this just told you. But I'm true with my work. I don't know if that actually tells you, but it's basically telling you that don't trust people who say they should. You should trust them. And Black Hawk was actually a very very inspiring person for many people. I don't know why I'm just rambling on about Black Hawk, but that's what this makeup looks for. I don't like how I messed it up. That just makes me pissed. But yeah, thanks for watching.